Lionel Messi, famous soccer player, one of the best that's ever lived. He is known for walking around the field. He gets called lazy. People yell at him. They lament the fact that he seems lazy on the field. The reality is it's strategy. He is creating space. He's slowing down so that he can see the bigger picture, so that he can create a map, and so that he has the energy to deploy into the one moment that matters, to really go forward and strike and score the goal. We all need to live a little bit more like that. We need to find deliberate ways to create that space in our life so that we can process the stimulus and come back with the better response on the back end.
Time wealth, part of this book. It left a very big impact on me because you had an equation. I'm searching the book right now, but there was an equation in the book where it's like, okay, take your age. Okay, if you're 65, you're going to live to 80. You have 15. If you see people once a year, you're going to see loved ones 15 more times in your life. And when you write it that way, it becomes a little bit more dramatic. It becomes a little bit more compelling. And I guess, what would you say to somebody who's filling their time with meetings, filling their time with, we're going to make an extra $1 today. And again, I'm all for making money. I've dedicated a good part of my life, Sahil, to making money. But I also recognize that if I'm going to miss out on this big opportunity to be with my children or hang out with friends or loved ones or my wife, that there's wealth in that as well. So give me some coaching. Go ahead. What would you say to people?
There's a few things. So first off, making money and pursuing your ambition, there is nothing wrong with that. And this book will never tell you that there's something wrong with that. What it will say is that that has to be grounded in something more meaningful than just the pursuit of money. So as you talk about, like, you have made money, you've worked on that in your life, I would argue that pursuit of money has actually been a pursuit of your purpose. You have been grounded in the desire to build something meaningful. You've built a big company. You've built, and hired people, created jobs, built this enterprise that has resulted in you receiving value in return in the form of money. But it wasn't that you were chasing money every single day. You were chasing purpose and grounding yourself in that. And there's nothing wrong with that. What I would say to the person from a time perspective is very simple. Time is your most precious asset. It is the only thing that you can never get back. And the thing that I always say to young people is I ask them this one question. Would you trade lives with Warren Buffett? He is worth $130 billion, last I checked. He has access to absolutely anyone in the world. He flies around on private jets. He has mansions all over the place. He reads and learns for a living. But you would not trade lives with him, simply because he is 95 years old. And there's no way you would agree to trade the amount of time he has left for all the money in the world. You just wouldn't do it. And similarly, he would trade places with you in a heartbeat. He would give up everything that he has to be young again. So in the back of your mind, through that math, that your time has quite literally incalculable value. And then on a daily basis, you spend time scrolling on this thing, looking around, comparing yourself to others, taking on stupid things that you don't want to do, things that aren't moving the needle in your life. So you need to have this mindset shift to recognize that time is literally the only thing that you have. And leveraging it effectively, deploying it into things that actually create energy in your life, recognizing that you only get one shot at this, that is the real wealth.
Okay, let's go to some other stuff in the book. You talk about mental wealth. And you talk about the anxieties that people have in their lives and the tribulations that they have in their lives. How do you recommend that people manage that, right? So, Socrates once said, maybe the best among us are the ones that didn't live, right? Meaning you have to go through the trials and tribulations of life and the ups and downs, Sahil. How do you manage all that?
I think that the most important point around mental wealth is this idea of space. And I talk about it in the context of creating space in your life. Viktor Frankl, famous psychologist and Holocaust survivor, has this quote that our power exists in the space that we can create between stimulus and response. So if you think about your life, you have this constant stimulus drip coming in, and then you're being told that you have to respond to everything right away. We live in this urgency culture. Every single thing is urgent. So you don't get time to create space because everything is stimulus, response, stimulus, response. Your power exists in your ability to create a little bit of space on a daily basis, and then a lot of space, hopefully on a more regular monthly or quarterly basis, to zoom out, to slow things down, and to see the bigger picture in your life, to actually be able to, pick and choose your moves on the chessboard, if you will. If you think of some of the greatest success stories in history, even in different fields, Lionel Messi, famous soccer player, one of the best that's ever lived, he is known for walking around the field. He gets called lazy. People yell at him. They lament the fact that he seems lazy on the field. The reality is it's strategy. He is creating space. He's slowing down so that he can see the bigger picture, so that he can create a map, and so that he has the energy to deploy into the one moment that matters, to really go forward and strike and score the goal. We all need to live a little bit more like that. We need to find deliberate ways to create that space in our life so that we can process the stimulus and come back with the better response on the back end.
Okay. I consider myself somebody that has some pretty good social wealth. So define for me what social wealth is. Whether you think I'm right or wrong, and then define for me what social wealth is.
I think you're right, but I don't think it's something where we can necessarily judge others. But social wealth is all about your relationships. It's about your depth of relationships with the few close people. Your true, what I think of as like darkest hour friends, the people that you can call at 3 a.m. when the chips are down, when your company goes bankrupt, when you get arrested, when you're stuck, when you're in a rut. Those are your true deep relationships. Then there is the broader circle of breadth of the relationships that extend beyond that core, the communities, the spiritual networks, the things that you are connected to that kind of extend beyond the self, those higher order communities. And the combination of those two is kind of what creates your social wealth. And at the end of the day, social wealth is what provides the texture to be able to enjoy any of the other types of wealth. When you think about having any level of financial wealth, no one dreams about being on a yacht by themselves. Right? Like you want people to enjoy these things with. You don't dream of being able to go on these amazing hikes or trips or experiences by yourself. You want to have others by your side with them. So social wealth is the one that I would say most people fail to invest in. And the mindset shift here that's so important is we know that investing in our financial wealth is a smart decision, that putting away $100 today is going to compound into our future. The exact same principle applies to social wealth. Investing in your relationships today is arguably the best investment you can make because it will pay dividends for a long, long time into the future in the exact same way that a financial investment will.